Hey y'all, it's March the 2nd, 2017, and you guys, I could take this video and I could stretch it out very long, alright? There's a lot to be said about this particular topic, and in fact, I believe that you'll find the theme behind most of the videos that are going to be made on this channel and in this exclusive Facebook group. The theme of most of these videos is going to be about or around justice against pedophilia. Pedophilia is something that honestly is truly unacceptable and in no way should be tolerated. And in our culture, our Western society, publicly, for the most part, pedophilia is frowned upon, is discouraged, and that's due to its obviously suicidal nature. Alright, pedophilia, it doesn't make any sense. Briefly, the goal behind relations at all is to make babies, and pedophilia does not equate to that sort of thing. And it's disgusting. Dare I say that there are degrees of disgusting, deviant behavior when it comes to sexual relations between anybody. It's all disgusting. Unless, of course, y'all are both trying to make a baby. And I know that that's hard for people to understand, but it's very important that you heed what it is that I'm saying right now when I say that. Or even just consider it. But anyways, like I said, Western society, you basically, you're not supposed to be openly for pedophilia, and pretty much everybody knows that, right? However, from what I've observed, as many people, I don't know if you would call them on the fence about pedophilia. There are a lot of people who are on the fence about it. And there seem to be a lot of people who do advocate for even the idea of expressing sexual desires for little children. Right? They're out there. I've met them and talked to them. Right? But for the most part, I'm pretty sure, I'm willing to bet you that the major majority of American citizens, and citizens like them around the world, they do not get down with the pedophilia. In fact, they want to see the pedophilia decreased somehow. And a lot of them see that it's not really being decreased. It seems almost as though it's amping up, but it's hard to tell what exactly the numbers are when it comes to pedophilia. One thing that I've heard a lot from a lot of different people who I tend to like is that when it comes to convicted, downright all up in your face guilty pedophiles who've done crazy things, that they should be put in the ground. Like, they are no good to anybody. Get rid of them. Alright? Basically is the sentiment of a lot of people that I've heard, right? And you know, most of them probably do elaborate, and I'll have to elaborate for them that what they mean is that when these people are found absolutely guilty in a court of their peers, when it's obvious that that did take place, that this is not just false allegations or a crazy misunderstanding, that you definitely did do something like that, then go ahead and get rid of you. Alright? That is the sentiment, and there's lots of reasons behind that. I mean, for one, our tax dollars are being used to house these individuals for sometimes life and 60 years. And also, imagine how much money that takes. It's not fiscally practical. Secondly, a lot of people have reason to believe that these convicted pedophiles aren't going to get rehabilitated. There is no rehabilitation for something like that. A lot of people tend to believe that. And to a certain extent, I would have to agree. Right? So, let's imagine, because we're going to, like I said on this channel, we're going to try to keep it very simple. Let's try to imagine, okay, we're gonna try and decrease pedophilia. Why? Because we don't like it. We don't want it in our communities at all, ever. All right, so we're gonna try to proactively decrease the amount of pedophilia substantially in and around our communities. Right, and we also know this because usually this is what's the excuse when it comes to these convicted pedophile perpetrators. What they'll say is, "Oh, I got abused. I was abused as a young child," and it's very well known. It's basically common knowledge. It's commonplace right now that a lot of these pedophile rapist monsters, disgusting individuals, have been raped in their past, maybe when they were little kids, and it messed up the wiring in their brain. All right, their rape messed up the wiring in their brain, and their brain got all wired wrong, and now they too thirst for disgusting pedophilia sex. Now that they're older and they're adults, now their brain wiring got so fucked up that now they want to do that. All right, and a lot of them will claim, "Oh, I'm just a victim of this messed up thing that happened to me in my brains, and so now that makes me want it." All right. Meanwhile, there's people who have been raped as little young children who do not think that way, who absolutely do not like pedophilia and understand why it's wrong. There are different reactions when it comes to being traumatized in that sort of way as a child. All right. So if we know that, and we don't know exactly what's the percentage of people who are pedophile rapists, weirdos, we don't know what's the percentage of them who have also been raped when they were little children, but we know it's a large one. We know it's a large one. All right, so this is what I'm saying. The argument, as barbarian as it may sound, to kill these pedophiles, to put them to death, the argument that is what we should do, as brutal as it might sound, it's the only argument that even makes sense. Right? Because this is a continuing pattern, right? It keeps going. All right. So as long as you let pedophiles continue on in this world, it's going to continue to generate other pedophiles. All right. The reason being is these people who got their brain all messed up in the wiring, and they also now want to have relations with the children. All right. They know for the most part, if they do what they do and get caught for it, they're not going to get put to death. They're not really scared by it. It's an addiction. You got to understand, most of these addictions out here, if you're faced with jail time or whatever, if you do those crimes, you're going to do them anyways and hope that you don't get caught. And when you do get caught, you're going to continue to do it anyways because you're so addicted. All right, I've seen many a documentary with pedophiles in prison, and they're just like, oh, we're not accepted and stuff, and oh man, I'm just trying to live one day at a time and stuff. And we're paying for their housing, we're paying for their food. Meanwhile, they're just perpetrating a pattern that keeps going and keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. If you were to do this, keep it very simple. Meditate on justice. All right? Meditate on justice, because there's a lot of young children out here. They get raped, right? They tell on that person. That person goes to jail, maybe, when found guilty, because there's some that get put on probation. Believe it or not, they get put straight on probation and don't see a prison. All right, so as a society, if we were to find these pedophiles, right, who committed these acts, right, take them before a trial. If we find them guilty, there is no gray area. You get dead real quick. You do not even get one of these last meals or something like that. You get dead. After a jury has convicted you beyond a shadow of a doubt that you did what you did, we kill that person. And what this does is it shows the young person who got assaulted, who got their dignity ripped from them, who is harmed in untold ways. What happens to that person is they will feel a sense of justice, that someone actually does care what happened to them, that someone out there absolutely won't tolerate that kind of behavior, to the point where they will put you in the ground quick, fast. All right, so the sense of justice will then be had by the young child, and they will feel as though society is working for them, and it will add incentive to grow up and be a productive member of society, not a disgusting, weird pedophile. Now, there might be some children who get raped, and their rapist gets caught and murdered. I mean, not murdered, but gone through a trial to find out whether or not they done it, and then gets put to death. And there might be some occasions where that child still grows up thinking, oh, I might want to do the pedophile stuff because my brain's got all messed up, the wiring got messed up. I know it's a death penalty and stuff, but gosh dang it, my brains are still, all messed up and wired up bad, and I want little children sexually. All right, these people are going to be scared out of their mind to ever try something like that, because it's automatic death penalty. These fools out there do not want to lose their life. They cling to their life. The very nature of these people clings to life here on earth. because they can get off on their disgusting pleasures and have pleasurable times and stuff, and they know for a fact that when they get off this earth, all their good times are over. All of them, forever. And so they would not want to risk it. That would be something they wouldn't want to risk. They wouldn't even want to risk admitting it like they've been admitting it in these national publications. No, they wouldn't want to whisper it alone in a room because they would be too terrified. And you can only imagine the percentage in which pedophilia would absolutely drop in this country. You can only imagine. With this simple, barbaric idea of you do not go to prison. Pedophiles, we don't have room for them in our prisons. You know what I'm saying? We got room up in the upper room, if you know what I mean. And no, you're not going to the upper room, but you're going to go into the dang ground. Anyways, it's March the 2nd, y'all, 2017, and one of these days, I'm going to get banned for hate speech, alright? So, I'm going to holler at y'all later, see if I can do that.